What if I told you one of the most powerful companies in the world started as a college research project, built in a dorm room, with cheap computer parts and a crazy idea no one fully understood at first? Before Google became the king of the internet, Larry Page was just a PhD student trying to solve one frustrating problem. Why was finding useful information online so difficult? That one question led to a breakthrough that changed how the entire world searches for information forever. And the craziest part? Larry Page didn't start by chasing billions. He started by chasing a better answer. So how did a student turn a university experiment into Google, one of the most important companies in history? This is the success story breakdown of Larry Page. Part 1: The beginning of a builder. Larry Page was born on March 26, 1973, in Michigan, in a home filled with computers, science, and ideas. His father was a computer science professor, and his mother also worked in computer programming and data systems. That meant Larry grew up surrounded by technology from an early age. While many kids played with toys, Larry was already fascinated by machines, inventions, and how systems worked. He wasn't just interested in using technology. He wanted to build it. That mindset followed him into college, where he studied computer engineering at the University of Michigan before joining Stanford University for his PhD. And that's where everything changed. Part 2: The meeting that changed the internet. In 1995, Larry Page visited Stanford University, and another student, Sergey Brin, was assigned to show him around. Funny enough, some stories say they disagreed about almost everything during that first meeting. But sometimes, the people you clash with the most, become the people you build the biggest things with. By 1996, the two teamed up on a research project. Larry had become obsessed with one huge question. What if the importance of a web page could be measured by the links pointing to it? At the time, search engines mostly ranked pages by keywords. Larry thought that was weak. He believed links were like votes of trust. That idea became the foundation of something revolutionary. Part 3: The idea that made Google different. Larry Page and Sergey Brin built an early search engine called Backrub. Strange name. But powerful idea. Instead of only checking how many times a word appeared on a web page, Backrub looked at which websites linked to that page. In simple terms, if many important websites linked to a page, that page was probably valuable. That ranking system later became known as PageRank. And this is the exact reason Google became different from almost every search engine at the time. While others were asking, does this page contain the keyword? Larry Page was asking, can the internet itself tell us which page matters most? That question changed everything. The results were so much better than older search engines that Larry and Sergey immediately realized they had found something huge. Part 4: From dorm room to big opportunity. There was just one problem. A great search engine needs serious computing power. And Larry Page did not have a giant budget. So what did he do? He improvised. Larry and Sergey built their system using borrowed parts, spare hard drives, cheap machines, and whatever computers they could get from Stanford. Larry's dorm room became a machine lab. Sergey's room became an office. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't polished. But it worked. This is one of the biggest lessons in Larry Page's story. You do not need perfect conditions to build something powerful. You need a strong idea and the courage to keep building. Part 5: The name, Google, and the big bet. As the project grew, Backrub got a new name. Google. The name came from the word Google, a mathematical term for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. That name reflected Larry Page's giant vision. To organize a nearly infinite amount of information. This was no longer just a school project. This was becoming a mission. In 1998, one major moment changed everything. Andy Bechtolsheim, a co-founder of Sun Microsystems, saw the demo and was impressed enough to write a $100,000 check to Google Inc. There was just one funny problem. Google Incorporated didn't even officially exist yet. That forced Larry and Sergey to take the leap and formally build the company. Part 6, The Garage Story. And the real story. A lot of people say Google was built in a garage. And yes, the company did use a rented garage in Menlo Park after getting early funding. But here's what most videos leave out. The real breakthrough happened before the garage. The real magic happened in the Stanford dorm rooms, the university network, and the messy experimental phase where Larry Page and Sergey Brin proved the search engine actually worked. That's important because too many people romanticize the garage. But the real success came from deep thinking, solving a real problem, testing the idea, improving the product, and staying obsessed with quality. The garage was part of the story. But the algorithm was the real business. Part 7, How Google Took Over. Once Google launched, people noticed something instantly. It was just better. Cleaner homepage. Faster results. Smarter ranking. While other companies were cluttering search pages with distractions, Google focused on one thing. Helping users find the best answer fast. That obsession with user experience became Larry Page's hidden superpower. By 1999, Google had raised major venture capital. By the early 2000s, it was growing explosively. And in 2004, Google went public, turning Larry Page and Sergey Brin into billionaires and proving that a student research project had become one of the most important companies on Earth. Larry Page's story is not just about building a company. It's about building a better solution. He didn't win because he had the most money. He didn't win because he started first. He didn't win because everything was easy. He won because he asked a better question than everyone else. While others were trying to organize the web with old methods, Larry Page reimagined how search itself should work. And that's the real lesson. The biggest opportunities are often hidden inside problems that everyone else has accepted as normal. So the next time you think your idea is too small because it started in a classroom, a dorm room, or with borrowed tools, remember this. Google started as a student project. And one idea from Larry Page changed how billions of people use the internet every single day. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more success stories that show how ordinary ideas become world-changing businesses. Because the next big story might be yours.